We are live. This is the market update. This is the meltdown market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. What is going on is undoubtedly the question that's on your mind. Well, let's start with how people are feeling. I'm guessing the word is revulsion. They tried to get it going in meme coins yesterday and wipe out. So people are probably packing it in, giving up. You can tell by the price action in Solana. Now, a point of information. 1 month ago, when the orange man sold, we experienced euphoria, and now we're experiencing despair. So what do you do in periods of despair? You shop. You shop, shop, shop. That's what you can do in the YouTube member area. Patreon, the middle tier offering, we came out with altcoin overtime, as well as a GAN-based roadmap. If you're wondering why this is happening outside of Bybit, which I'll go into in a second, but there is a big kind of spooky GAN planetary alignment at the end of the month. LuxAlgo, we're going to look at the Solana chart and all of the seemingly bullish signals there, where this is like move has just cleaned itself out. And the Bill Noble indicator may be of use to you because it can help you find these 5-wave bottoms across multiple different symbols that you type in. And don't forget, when the market looks like it's going to zero, that is the best time to book Bitcoin Vegas 2025, right? Because the market's down now, but what's it going to look like in May? Because in January, when the orange man was doing his meme coin, if I told you Solana was going to be at 150 a month from now, you would have told me I was out of my mind. So if you want to check the roadmap out, check that out in Patreon. We'll be doing our live stream tomorrow in the YouTube member area, right, where we got new picks and stuff we want to talk about, stuff that was rallying before today and is dipping hard. Again, what do you do when it's down? Well, first you cry and you get it all out of your system. Then the second thing you do is you eat something like chicken Alfredo, right, to sort of get some comfort. You take a deep breath, and with whatever capital you got, you shop. And if you don't have capital, you hang in there, right? I mean, honestly, thank God for AIntivirus AINTI. Otherwise, there would be limited things to talk about. So a month ago, there was everything to talk about, like XRP $6, you know, Bitcoin going to 201K, strategic Bitcoin reserve. And now it's like, you know, you got to wake up every morning and brush the ashes off before you talk about crypto. So probably too euphoric at the high, probably too much despair at the low, on forced Bybit selling, and we are going to shop. So that's the YouTube member area. Toby's got a lot of stuff queued up, and we're ready. Okay, let's welcome Richard Barry, first on the stream. Bull Runner, Bud74, a new member. Welcome, sir. The Orange Man bidder bull post this market on March 4th, bro. I happen to agree. However, underestimating the Orange Man has not gotten you anywhere. So let's hope that he comes through, right? You know, I'm tired of seeing all these bad people, right? I mean, in some ways, ironically, even though this is probably Bybit related, the Kanye talk was the end. You know, I was hoping that would be like somewhat different, that they would do it on Binance, and that might be some sort of euphoric distraction. Yeah, bearish, right? If the market would even accept a Kanye coin, it was bearish. Okay, Gavin is here banging away with that McAfee emoji and the banana. J Barbie, Huckleberry Native, A1, the Hot Mess Express, a longtime member. Welcome. Right? Daniel J from the Jersey Shore. Okay. You know, you can blame Dave P, right? Another meme coin rug guy, but, you know, perhaps that's thin. All right, let's talk about rugs. I remember back in 2020, like when a DeFi protocol would rug, we were all appalled. We were like, how horrible. How horrible. Like if somebody would get rugged, you know, we would almost like feel sorry for them, right? We would give them empathy. Now, what's the rug of the day? What's the rug of the week? How big can we make this rug? I'm seeing things like messages being sent to influencers that say something like, "Hi, do you want to promote a project?" And the influencer goes, and they say, "Do you want to promote a project? It's going to rug, but you can say you were hacked." Like, that's what's going on. And, that's toxic. And of course, the thing that people don't want to hear is that with Gensler not around, enforcement is the market. The market handles enforcement, right? So if you have too much BS going on, the whole market just purges. People go, wait, this whole crypto market's a scam, sell. And we do that until people are done. Like yesterday, we'll look at some analytics showing people were super interested in meme coins yesterday. And then meme coins can't take out resistance and wipe out, right? The market is handling enforcement. Now let's go to Bybit. Let's talk about that. Bybit, obviously got hacked for $1.4 billion in ETH. Them being a centralized entity is disturbing, to say the least. So then Bybit takes to the tape, says we're going to handle it. Everybody gives them a big round of applause on Twitter. And then they actually have to make it happen. So they have to buy ETH. They have to borrow ETH. So, people who take deposits were lending their depositors ETH to Bybit. Right. And we have a chart and we'll go over that. So they were trying to get their hands on ETH any way they could. Okay. So they delivered ETH. So how do they pay back the loans? How do they replenish their reserves? Well, they sell everything. They sell their other holdings. They sell whatever they have. And then people who are stuck on Bybit, who can't get off, they see the market start rotating lower and they sell the market. And I was talking to some guy yesterday that weekends in crypto are a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. Like every weekend, as soon as the ETFs close, they dump the market. And last night you thought you were safe until like 7 o'clock. And then boom, they dumped the market. 10% down in Solana. Solana all the way down to the discount zone on the 4-hour chart. And to me, this looks like the two best things you can have for an eventual upside reversal. Forced selling and revulsion. Now, do you come straight back after this? Well, maybe if you get a catalyst on March 4th. However, you still got 4 days of this Gann planetary alignment thing. And frequently with Gann, you don't get the reversal until the alignment's over or the event is over. So we could have 2 or 3 more days of this. And at least I can take some solace in saying that when it came to Bybit, it wasn't over in a day. These things are never over in one day, especially when it's huge. Forced selling is now involved. I'm guessing at least 2 more days. I don't know if it's like down 10%. I don't know if it's that kind of price action, but you can expect this market to probably trade as bad as it was good a month ago, right? A month ago, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Now it's a disaster, right? You can't even look at it, which is exactly when you should be looking at it. Yes, the Trump token was the top, right? It was very hard to admit that with the strategic reserve and all that stuff coming. You figured that was like a guarantee that it was going to happen, because how can he possibly do a meme coin and dump on the market and then not say anything positive about crypto? I mean, if we get rugged by the president, we're in trouble. Okay. So hopefully they understand that. There's a lot of high-powered people. Let's worry about that when it comes. In the meantime, you got this planetary alignment. I did the roadmap for Patreon. Like, these are the sectors that we think can perform well. There's going to be a lot more detail on that in the member area on YouTube coming up. Okay. So, right. A1, Bybit, screwed up. Right. Buy utility, buy Bitcoin. I completely agree. Okay, now, news. Let's go. Okay, a brief reminder that the Chinese are printing money and that there is a contest going on as to who can be the best crypto city in Asia. Okay, they're going to print so much money over there that I can't believe Hong Kong isn't going to be this massive crypto center. Yeah, they're going to buy Chinese equities. They've got to absorb all this on the Bank of China's balance sheet. I get it. But this whole idea that we don't need an alternative form of money, we don't need DeFi or anything related to Web3 is crazy. And the fact that they're just, they're giving up on it like it's like a give up trade. They're just packing it in, and it looks absolutely horrible to the point where it's upsetting, right? Like, look at this. The next market crash will break our fragile brains. Now, do you think they would have published this at the top of the market? No, I don't think so, right? It's like, if you look at this guy, this is, we need a new form of money. Now, could a wreckage in, say, stocks or crypto or one or the other, could it hurt? Does this make you mental? Does this give you PTSD about the yen carry trade or FTX? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It does. It's ridiculously painful. But the fact that there's an article about it being ridiculously painful, or an article that's like, well, when the crash gets here, we're all going to shatter and cry. Okay. Actually, I think you'd shatter and cry more if Bitcoin went to 150 or 200K and ETH took out its high along with Solana, and you couldn't touch it, or you didn't want it, or you were selling at 150 for any other reason other than risk management or tax loss selling, right? That's the pain. The pain trade is if this is like a low, just like with the Orange Man's meme coin. The pain trade was it the high? Now you have exactly the opposite sentiment. Okay, I have more on this later, but the United States is still a divided country, right? It's a primary reason for a lower dollar. Judge blocks DOGE access to the educational department. Like, these agencies come under the executive branch. So if they want to look at the books, they're allowed to look at the books. They don't need authorization from anybody to look at a government agency, which again falls under the executive branch. Now, everybody is going to get down on bended knee and do what the Orange Man says. Okay. Tim Cook is like, you know what? Please don't tariff my iPhones into insensibility. I'll build $500 billion worth of stuff here in the United States. Please don't wreck me. People are going to do what the Orange Man wants done. Hopefully, the Orange Man still wants a sovereign wealth fund and a Bitcoin strategic reserve. One of the reasons why the Orange Man may want that is because they've already made a pact at Mar-a-Lago called the Mar-a-Lago Accord, where they want interest rates down and the dollar down. So U.S. goods are more competitive overseas, and they get the housing market unlocked. Okay, 70% of Americans want Elon to carry on. We'll go over some granular details about that. Okay, now, so for all this bluster about cost cutting and this and that, mortgage rates are down for a fifth consecutive week, and last week's decline was a whopping 2 basis points from 687 to 685. Now, what they got to do is get that down to 5%. No one's going to buy a house. No one's going to trade a 3% mortgage for a 7% mortgage. 7.12, 6.85, who cares? Right? They got to get rates way down. And you want to know what's funny? They may turn Elon loose firing people until that area of the country starts some kind of recession. That's crazy, right? That's crazy for equities, right? Lower rates, lower dollar is good for crypto. But, crypto frequently always goes down first. So if there's going to be a scary event somewhere else, crypto gets hammered well in advance of that. I still think that if there's a disturbance in legacy, crypto may go down, but crypto may come back faster. And crypto may not even go down on a disturbance in legacy because it's already been hammered. Like, what are they going to do? They're going to take Solana back to 80? We're going to go to 75 in Bitcoin? You look at the Michael Saylor work. How's Bitcoin going to go below 86? And if it does, if it goes to 86, Michael Saylor is going to be down there issuing, he's going to be issuing stock and legacy instruments to get crypto. All right. So Zero Hedge, in keeping with its like gloomy, like disaster streak. So Comex gold in Comex vaults. So we are 5 days away from a vault record. I don't really understand this. Among shocking rumors that 2,000 tons of gold were delivered to the U.S. in the last 2 months, most of it outside the gold exchange, delivery defaults loom. So Uncle Sugar didn't have the gold that they said they had. They had to fill Fort Knox up, so they bought all the physical gold that there was, right? They'll tour Fort Knox. Most of the gold will be there. And then hopefully somebody turns around and say, Bitcoin fixes this, right? Like we don't have to, worry if the gold bars are there. If we have Bitcoin, we have Bitcoin. That's it. Just like Michael Saylor, like, this is how many Bitcoin we have. I'm saying, like, it would be a good idea. Now, if there is a gold default, as I've said, or if that gold at Fort Knox isn't there, you're going to have a massive disturbance in legacy. This affects banks. This affects confidence in treasuries. This affects confidence in the dollar. Net after the fact, after the initial lurch lower, it could be good for crypto. Okay. But again, if nobody knows what happens if somebody who wants physical gold can't get it, especially after Uncle Sugar just sucked everything out of the market. We'll see. Okay. I'm not really, there's a lot of doom and gloom, but then again, if you compare this to what the news looked like a month ago, it's unbelievable. Steve Cohen says tariff and DOGE cuts are negative for the economy. Market correction could be soon. Okay, well, market correction won't be soon because the Fed is just pumping money into the system with reckless abandon. So if you have an overbought market headed into the fall, that's when you get the problems, right? And this guy's right. Tariffs are uncertain, and DOGE, their mission is to just, to cut everything and start a recession so rates go lower. Right? In other words, government spending, right? In economics, they use GDP as Y. So GDP or Y is C plus I plus G, right? Consumption plus investment plus government spending. The consumer is fine because the consumer is super leveraged. The consumer is fine even with inflation. So the only way to hammer the market, the only way to hammer inflation, the only way to get rates down is government spending. So stop government spending, cut every cost, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They want the dollar lower. That's the big reason to not give up on crypto. And of course, there are reasons to not give up on privacy, which can help me go into any excuse to discuss antivirus, which I own and I like, and I'm going to buy more if it goes down. Okay. So here we have the US trying to make peace, right? The Russians, the Ukrainians, it's a war. It's all men behaving badly and kids dying. Okay? So we want to end it. And the United Kingdom says, we're going to do more sanctions. We're trying to stop it, and they're trying to keep it going. Right? I mean, do sovereigns act in your interest? And are there forces out there that want to just, put a ball and chain around your ankle and tell you what you can't and cannot say, what you can and cannot buy, that you want to eat bugs? Yeah, right now the orange man's running them out of town, but they're still around. Like you can get rid of some of the roaches, like, got an election in Germany. These guys are still around. They're still out there, right? Okay, so the orange man bull posting, the German election. Germans got tired of the no common sense agenda. Okay, let's hope they can put a government together, but it is nice that the Germans may actually wind up doing something that creates a bid in the euro. Meanwhile, the orange man, there's a movie coming out about the orange man as a young man in the 80s. So as a young man with money in the 80s, pretty much nothing ethical or moral may have happened. Naturally, they have to smear the guy. He's 78 years old and they're going to come and get him for what he did when he was 30. Because I hate to say it, but at the end of the day, it's a divided country. Here's a good thing. Do you think Donald Trump is doing a better job or a worse job? So Democrats, they think he's doing worse, 78%. 93% of Republicans think he's doing a great job. It's unbelievable, right? It's like love, hate. And then we turn it around and whoever's in power, it's love, hate. Kennedy's right. This has to end. Now, meanwhile, speaking of the Germans, $370 billion asset management company launches crypto trading. and the Germans somehow sold a whole bunch of Bitcoin at like 60K. Maybe they needed the money, or maybe it was just stupid, right? Maybe it's just stupid. Do sovereigns, like, was that move in the interest of the German people? I don't think so. How, like, the extent to which Europe has nowhere to go but up, Home Depot, whatever, a retailer, right? Everyone shops online, a retailer, is worth more than all European startups created in the last 50 years combined. You can't innovate in Europe, right? If they ever got crypto going over there, there's nowhere to go but up. In terms of like startups, this assumes that they're smart enough to like get any entrepreneurial venture going, crypto especially. But, I know guys at Smart Money left the UK a long time ago for Dubai. Okay, Apple putting in $500 billion. People think crypto needs regulatory clarity. They don't realize the SEC not suing everybody is regulatory clarity. People don't see this, but they eventually will. That's yours truly. In response to SEC ending the investigation into Robinhood. You have regulatory clarity. The fact that the crypto market is on its own, and the first thing it did was create meme coins that were dumped on retail at the highs. That was our first thing we did after Gensler was gone. And now everyone is crying because the market is purging everything. And I'm telling you, you're going to have people saying the market did better under Gensler. You're going to have P-brains talking about this, right? All markets have a self-discipline process. They do. Now, crypto not only has self-discipline, but it has its own kill switch, aka Dave Portnoy, Kanye West. The thing in Argentina, it's a disaster, right? So we have a purge, and that's how you have to look at it, right? Like, what's changed about the crypto market versus a month ago? What's changed about the need for Web3? You want to deal with Silicon Valley, Skynet. What happens? What happens if, what happens if you get, these guys back in power again? What happens? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to have an orderly election in 2028? When you start buying things for a possible weirdness in 2028, in 2024, just like you should have been buying Bitcoin. Now you're going to be like, okay, Bill, yeah, that's crazy. Listen, man, you could have gotten Bitcoin 4 or 5 years ago at 10 or 20K. You could have gotten Bitcoin at 16K 2 years ago. So it's like, yeah, you can engage in long-term planning. Okay, everybody thinks the stock market is going to crash. There could be a correction in September, but it's not necessarily the truth. It's not necessarily like, oh my God, the stock market's going to go to zero, right? Valuations are high, but not insane. The big tech stocks are, they're amazing companies in terms of what they generate for shareholders, so they should be worth more. I don't hear anybody saying, oh, there's no price too high for stocks. Anything that's been going on in crypto, right? Bitcoin to 13 million, et cetera, right? The markets, while highly priced, don't seem nutty. Okay? Okay. So it's not a bubble, or maybe everyone's panicking. Goldman traders hit the panic button. Perfect sell storm. Everybody long. The market's expensive. People are doing more selling than buying. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So if equities get wrecked, crypto gets wrecked. We know these things. We know that, right? And then some Solana news. Meet Dripster.fun.com, designed to product token launchpad. For all creators, designers, and collectors, this one is for you. Oh, somebody help me. Somebody please help me. Okay, now let's go to Michael Saylor and talk about something somewhat positive. Michael Saylor, 4 years ago, said that Bitcoin was going to be bigger than Apple, Amazon, and Facebook. And you got Bitcoin up to like 2 trillion. It's pretty good. right? And, it's bigger than a lot of these tech companies. And everybody thought he was out of his mind, proving that in order to be a genius, you first have to be a moron, right? You first have to be a moron, right? Okay, Michael Saylor meeting with the SEC. This is the Digital Asset Framework, Principles and Opportunities for the United States. Michael Saylor is going to set an example. He is. And the government's going to follow. So Michael Saylor continues to announce an 8% series perpetual stock, preferred stock offering. You're like, what the heck does that mean? That means he's going to sell any legacy instrument he has or can, which has all kinds of creative properties, which investment banks love because the more creative the structure, the more they make on it. So the investment banks will be like, Mike, we will sell anything you can, anything the market will take, and the market will take it because people want Bitcoin exposure, whether they can buy the Bitcoin ETF or not. So he will just sell MicroStrategy stuff, sell strategy stuff, sell preferred stock, sell common stock. You can read the finance textbook, or you can just take my word for it that he's going to sell everything humanly possible to get his hands on as much Bitcoin as he can. There's $450 trillion in bonds, real estate, and 20th century assets. There's 1 trillion or 2 trillion in Bitcoin. Okay, this is a graph that people in legacy love. It's the tracker for MicroStrategy. So right now, MicroStrategy is 1.68 times the amount of Bitcoin that they own. So MicroStrategy stock, to be more exact, is worth 1.68 more, 1.68 times the Bitcoin that they have. So MicroStrategy stock is worth way more than the Bitcoin that they own. Let's put it that way. Hopefully that came out right one of those 3 times. Okay, they have almost 500,000 Bitcoin at an average price of 66K. And I'm sure his idea is come get me. And if he issues this preferred stock, he's probably going to pile in near 90 if they're dumb enough to take it down there. Okay, so Michael Saylor is relentlessly buying. Now, a bearish bullish story. So this says the Bitcoin ETF. Okay, most people think the Bitcoin ETF is being held by long-term hodlers. Only 40% is. The rest of it's going for trading. Let's put it that way. So traders can dump it, right? Arbitragers, all kinds of fancy trading. That's one side. The other side is the big players, the pension funds and all that. They haven't gotten here yet. And trust me, when they see whatever goes down with gold, the yen, the dollar, when they see this stuff, they're going to want the Bitcoin ETF. Matter of fact, they may be required to get the Bitcoin ETF. BlackRock continues to hoover up ETH, as ETH continues to take it on the chin. Like, 1 minute ETH is too centralized. The next minute they want ETH to act as a centralized authority and fix the Bybit hack, by operating on the blockchain or doing a rollback. Now, the good news is Georgia introduced a Bitcoin reserve bill. The bad news is Montana, which I think is where Cynthia Loomis is from, killed it. We don't want to speculate with taxpayer dollars. Ooh, watch out. Bitcoin went down 10%. We're out. At 110, it's extremely attractive as a reserve asset. At 94, it's toxic, and we're speculating, and it's going to zero. In 1 month. This shift occurred in 1 month. Okay. Retail investors' demand is rebounding. So nobody wanted it. Everybody wanted it initially. And then it couldn't get through 100K, and then no one wanted it. And, people are nibbling at 94 or 97. Retail is coming back to a certain degree. And sometimes, when people are interested in spot, I don't know, in the past, the market has done okay. Right? So these dips in Bitcoin, like what used to be a big dip, I don't know, perhaps 94 or 89 or 86 is it. I have a hard time seeing 86, but You know, you got to get your hands on Bitcoin and you got to get it off an exchange. Yesterday, of course, because we can't control ourselves, right? We just, you know, it's like, oh my God, it's oversold. Let's get involved in meme coins, right? Doge, Trump, unicorn, fart, dust, right? Okay. Fart coin. You know, what else we got in here? SPX 6900, MOG. What else we got? What else we got in here? Right. Somehow I thought Ski Mask Dog was in here, but we can't keep off the meme coins. We just can't control ourselves, right? And then what does the market do? Purge, right? So remember meme coin super cycle. Now we're saying, you know, are they here to stay? Crypto VCs weigh in. Crypto VCs never met a massive pump and dump that they didn't like. And meme coins, you know, I was like, oh, well, we don't want the venture capitalists because we're sick of the pump and dumps. You know, we want meme coins. We want meme coins in an ETF. It's a meme coin super cycle. The market is all memes and it's memes and Bitcoin, and that's it. There's nothing left to crypto. Okay. Now we have to venture capitalists, the vultures weigh in on whether or not meme coins are any good. Yeah, I'm sure meme coins are going to be great if they mean something like antivirus, or if they have functionality like antivirus. We'll talk about it, right? It's like, show me some functionality. Show me that it's money. Show me that it's useful. Okay. And I'm sure this stuff will eventually be back when the speculative juices come back. But the bottom line is it got dumped on retail's head. Whether it comes back or not is not really relevant. What was relevant is as soon as Gensler got into his car and drove out of the parking lot at the SEC, we went full men behaving badly. And now we're paying for it. We're paying for it. Like, the market is not a separate force from you, me, and the next guy or the next guy on YouTube, right? When you have like Kanye and Dave Portnoy and I watch this stuff go on, I'm like, oh my God, please stop it, right? Like when the first lady's meme coin winds up, you know, not having the integrity that you would think it does. I mean, I was thinking that was going to be accepted as at Target, assuming it was like based on quality and good thinking. Holy, you got to be kidding me. No wonder this market got wrecked. No wonder, right? And then you get hacked or you get some sort of event and the market just tips right over. Now, is that going to come to an end soon? I'm guessing, yeah, because this has already become the opposite of the inauguration. You have full-on revulsion. Global crypto funds see 500 million weekly outflows. Oh my God, tariffs. I don't think the tariffs are as bad as everybody thinks they are. I really don't. Because I think they want the dollar lower and rates lower. That's more important than any negative effects of tariffs, in my opinion. And government spending drives inflation, not tariffs. They got to get government spending down. But of course, that is a great excuse to quit on crypto. Not. Right? People were getting in for the wrong reasons at the top, and they're getting out for the wrong reasons at the bottom. Right? Meme coins under fire as Bitcoin lullfest. Memories of 2018. So I have briefly discussed that Bitcoin sitting around and doing nothing historically has not been bullish. In 2018, Bitcoin sat at 6K for 3 months and then lost half of its value and then went into like a multi-month winter. Let's hope that's not happening again. I think my colleague Toby puts it very simple that 100K is just such a big psychological mark in people's minds that they got to get way clear of that in order to free the market, right? It's got to get to 110 or 115, or we have to just get over this whole 100K thing in order for it to move. But note what the media is talking about, right? A month ago, it was like XYZ investment bank says upside target is 200K. And now we're at 2018. You know, Bitcoin, 300,000. Bitcoin, lose half of its value in a month. In a month. Reality is somewhere in the middle. Or reality is as positive as it was back a month ago. It's just that we had to do a juice cleanse before we can do that. Market can't go up if everyone's long. And the market's getting everyone out. I mean, like literally, if you think about it, if Bybit had to sell everything that they had, and then everybody at Bybit panics and liquidates their crypto, You had the leverage players pushed out of this market 2 or 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I think, 900 million liquidated, biggest liquidation since FTX. And now the spot holders are selling. Who's going to be left to sell if this continues for 2 or 3 more days? Ethereum rollback suggestion sparks criticism. First, Ethereum is too centralized, and now it's not centralized enough. We want the CEO to resign, and we want them to come in and do things on the blockchain to make the hack go away. Alleviating the responsibility of the hack on Bybit. Bybit became Ethereum's problem almost right away. A public relations, miracle for Bybit. So I don't think Ethereum's doing anything like this, right? Bybit closes its ETH gap. Yeah, how did they do that exactly? Right? Did they borrow money? How did that happen? They did borrow money. They borrowed ETH from people who take deposits. And then they have to sell to make sure those people get paid back. Radium falls out of bed at Pump.Fun, says they want to make their own Solana exchange. God help us all. God help us all, man. Solana whales increase engagement in bearish options plays on Deribit amid SOL meltdown. So naturally, you don't hedge your position when Solana is at 220. You hedge your position when Solana is at 150. Doing a classic reminder of the saying, hedges are thing little doggies pee on. Meaning, everyone hedges after it goes down. Right? Panic hedging at a bottom, panic hedging after a down move is bullish. Hedging at 220, that's smart money getting out. That's smart money getting out. Right? I had a really good tweet that I got from somewhere else about how negative this whole Bybit thing was because of what they had to do to make it right. But I don't have that in front of me at the moment. Now, let's take a look. Let's take a look at antivirus. Now, what is this? Because I knew this was coming out. It's called the Solana Mixer. Oh, that's nice. Okay. And then someone explained to me what it does. So this is the antivirus website. They're going to be making a new one in 2 days. But if you want to chat with John McAfee, you can do so here, right? If you want to buy a gift card without anybody knowing who you are, or a SIM card for data, so no one can track you on your phone, like if you got to go to, say, the United Kingdom, or you can use something called the Sol Mixer. And I'm like, what does this do? I don't really understand this. And then someone explained it to me, and I did a tweet. And here's my tweet. First of all, did you know Tornado Cash was a mixer? I didn't know that. I thought Tornado Cash was a privacy coin. I'm going to be just fully transparent. So Tornado Cash, which initially had volume of $250 million before they took the founder and threw him in jail. And again, Tornado Cash was a favorite coin of, some really smart altcoin guys I was working with at the time. So Tornado Cash is an ETH mixer, right? You put Tornado Cash, or you put ETH into the system, right? And then give it a wallet address, and it moves it to the wallet address with no trace on the blockchain. In other words, privacy. Now, privacy gets used by all kinds of people, but privacy is not a bad thing. And if you don't believe me, ask the people who got picked up by SWAT in Germany or who are in jail in the UK for what they put on Facebook. Just ask them, right? Because sovereigns do not always have your interest at heart. And even if they do, they can be elected, removed. Ray Dalio, I had a piece in here, him talking about a revolution. Like, the US has to turn into a centralized dictatorship in a way, or there will be a revolution. And who knows what a 2028 election could look like. We're not trading that now, but again, if you bought Bitcoin 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, how you doing now? Meanwhile, back at the privacy ranch, Antivirus has figured out how to make a Solana mixer. So Tornado Cash is for ETH, Antivirus is for Solana, and check this out. Okay, when you use the mixer, you pay a 2% fee. So when you drop the Solana in, They take 2% of your Solana, buy antivirus, and then guess what they do with it? They burn it. So if you had even a portion of the volume that came into Tornado Cash, you could be burning like $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 a day in antivirus in theory. And the head guy who's not a developer, he's a project manager managing developers, which is why everything they release is on time, explained this to me. And I'm like, Tornado Cash is at a $40 million market cap. Antivirus with better tokenomics is at 8. And this is not the only project that they got. He showed me a message from the developers that they got this thing going cross-chain. Like they're going to be able to do Sol and ETH is in development. Now, can they execute on that? We'll find out. But they've executed on everything else, and it's at an $8 million market cap. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Why didn't I put more Solana in when Solana was at 180 or 200 or whatever? I mean, if it wasn't for this, what would I be talking about that's positive in this market, right? I mean, I own this. They paid me to promote it. They're not paying me a dime right now. I hodled this thing. I own it. I don't care, right? Come get me on this. Come get me. So this has products and, John McAfee was essentially the greatest meme in the history of crypto. Just no one knows who he is. And his widow has plenty to say about it. There's an artificial intelligence version of John McAfee. So we have a meme that means something with like serious crypto functionality and tokenomics. I'm like, okay. Okay, here comes maybe my Bybit tweet about how kind of crappy this whole thing really is. So before we go to the charts, this Bybit stuff stinks for 3 reasons. They're speculating because they're short ETH. They owe people ETH. They're calling borrowed funds customer assets without explaining. That sounds like they're calling in loans. So if I got this right, if they lent money to people, they're saying we want the money back. And they're taking ETH loans from other entities who also take ETH deposits. No customer knows where they stand with certainty. Hence, everybody just goes. I've said this before on prior shows. Uncertainty is toxic for markets. It's toxic. It's like having a cup of Drano with your scrambled eggs in the morning. It's just toxic, right? People don't know. People don't understand. People don't know how it's going to get fixed. They just sell. Right? Hedge funds getting redemptions. They go, oh, everyone panics and everyone sells at the same time, which again is the complete inverse of where we were a month ago. Now, if there's any lesson from FTX, which of course everyone has already forgotten about, is that when you get this level of forced selling, A, it's not over in a day, but B, when it is, the market just turns around and goes straight up. And they were selling the market with reckless abandon right before the election. And I don't think the State of the Union address is any different. They're going to sell the market into this Gann planetary alignment at the end of the month. Okay, let's go to charts and let's look at, let's have a good cry, like we're at the nail salon with the ladies and just have a good cry. Okay, so you have a 4-hour chart of Solana and, it's a 5-wave bottom. You have every LuxAlgo buy signal. You have the X here. You have the arrow down here, which is like the DeMark 13 bottom. Ironically, Solana still has positive money flow, which is weird, right? And it's at its discount zone. So I cannot, I said to Toby, this morning at the office, I'm like, this thing at Solana at 150 is disturbing me. And she just looks at me and goes, where is Solana going to be in a year? And I just got over it instantly, knowing that this 5-wave structure thing is here. Now, if you go to look at it on DeMark, right? If you look at Solana on a 4-hour DeMark chart, you get very similar type of readings, even though it's not the same thing. It's a different type of quantitative system that's effectively telling you that when this is over, on a daily chart, like you see this 5 and this 0, that means when Solana finally does stop, it's going to be a big bottom. Now, this, oh my God, we got a $50 super chat. Oh my God. Hippo character wearing cool sunglasses comes out of a treasure chest, tossing coins around him, says Martin. Clever. Martin, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you to all our members and Patreon warriors and Spartans who are sticking with us. Okay. Solana in 2 days, that should be it. Right. And if it's 3 days, the deeper it goes, the bigger the bottom it most likely is. Okay. Bitcoin on a daily chart is cruising towards a DeMark support at 89. And you got 3 days left to go because it goes 10, 11, goes 11, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 3 or 4 more days right into the Gann planetary alignment. And I continue to believe that you may see a bottom in ETH versus Bitcoin in March or April. So again, Martin, thank you for the super chat. And thank you for all the warriors and all the members. We appreciate your business. Remember, don't pack it in. Don't pack it in. Don't. Okay, now let's go to some charts. Antivirus hanging tough, praying it's a head and shoulders bottom. Talking my book, I know. And I'm telling you, if they smack this thing, I'm going to be down there, right? I mean, the thing about this coin, and then I'm just going to go to regular charts after that, you know, because I know people are interested in like Ski Mask Dog and stuff like that. You know, I don't think the market has the capability of even recognizing what a decent project looks like after this whole meme coin thing. I think the market thinks all projects are bad at this point. Okay. You know, just because it has a meme aspect to it doesn't mean it's bad if you have developers delivering stuff on time. Okay, so Ski Mask Dog, the key with this market is, are people willing to pay higher prices? People are willing to buy like cataclysmic dips, but as soon as it gets to a resistance point, like 7 cents or the 78% retracement, it can't get through there. You know, this is a classic case. This is probably happening across all meme coins. I mean, with antivirus, it happened to 10 cents. They couldn't get buyers to push through there. But I don't think people understand what this Sol Mixer means and what kind and how that changes the tokenomics if people start using it. You know, they're using the eSIM cards in Africa, right? They're using it where people are not banked just on that basis alone. Never mind the privacy aspect, and people are entitled to freaking privacy, right? John McAfee said that. That's why the meme theme works with antivirus, period. Right? I don't mind repeating myself on that. Like, it may be pissing some people off, but okay, well, they're going to be pissed off then. All right, let's look at MicroStrategy. Actually, let's look at MicroStrategy on DeMark because someone asked about it. T-Bone is a regular on the show. He asked about it yesterday. I think we covered it on LuxAlgo, but not on DeMark. So Michael Saylor is selling this with reckless abandon. They're not having a particularly good month. That's not surprising. Support is at 227. It is an ABC correction. Doesn't look like a disaster. If anything, it looks like a blow off bottom, right? You had a 13 bottom here on the 12th, and they went to the blow off bottom level at 281. Marathon Digital, like just looking at Bitcoin miners in general. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know that it gets any better than this. You have a 13 bottom, then you have a selling climax, which produces a 9 bottom. And this 5 in this C means the corrections could be over. I mean, that's all the DeMark buy signals that you can get. All that's needed is a reversal to turn around and confirm it. So if all the Bybit selling is being done today and tomorrow, I don't know, man. I think you got to look at crypto equities. I talked about looking at crypto equities before. there were problems with the yen and stocks did not fall out of bed. Everyone's like, oh my God, hit the panic button. And the next market crash will scar our fragile brains. Oh my God. Market never goes down when people are talking like that. Unless there's like a yen problem or some kind of problem, right? But when people talk like this, that's not when it goes down. It goes down when everyone's like, oh, everything is great. Everything is fine. That's when you get the surprise. Just like crypto, right? Oh my God, Donald and Melania issue a meme coin. Oh my God, the strategic reserve is coming. And then boom, right? That's kind of how it works. That's kind of how it works. All right. You definitely want to go and check out in Patreon all the different altcoins and the roadmap. So we did the roadmap, right? Based on GAN, right? And we did some altcoin picks, right? And we're going to do a whole bunch of hot new stuff for the YouTube members, right? We gave some of those to Patreon, but the YouTube members are going to get deluxe version either today or tomorrow. Okay, let's look at XRP because it would be rude not to. Everyone packed it in on XRP. Everyone. So XRP now at the bottom of a major LuxAlgo expanding triangle. You don't have any like major bottom signals here, but you do have a measure of support around 241. I guess if it broke that, it would be terrible, but I have such a hard time giving up on this, right? Everybody wants to give up on Cardano at the 200-day moving average. I'm having trouble with that too. Maybe I'm stupid. I'm having a hard time being like, like there's nothing worse than the late stage bear. Somebody who comes in is like, oh yeah, I hate it. I loved it. I loved it at $1.26, but at 75 cents, I'm mega bearish. All the American-made cryptos are getting smacked. Like that theme wasn't there. Now, could crypto get rugged by the president of the United States? I don't know. Everybody thinks everything is a rug now. That's the problem with the market. Don't you think? Like everything is a rug. Everything is a scam. Everything is bad now. First, everything was good. Now everything is bad. Okay, Algorand, I don't know, 4 or 5 more days. That kind of sucks. Okay, if you look at a 4-hour chart, you do have a nice 9 bottom that worked before as well as the 9 top. You just don't want to see a grotesque failed rally like this one. Ugh. Right? I'm lucky the 9 bottom came in sooner. Hopefully this market, what I would take is a market that trades terrible in a sideways fashion, right? It's scaring you, and then turns around and goes up after it scares you to death, which I think this market is doing a great job of right now. I mean, last night, I'm not going to lie. Last night, I was like, I looked at this and I was like, I don't want to play anymore. Right? Look at these AI coins. Like everything AI is down 7 to 8%. Everything. 5, 10. Okay. If you go to real world assets, right? So Ondo broke the 200-day moving average today. That sucks. Right? There is some support at $1, but when you have big coins like this breaking levels, that may not get resolved in a day. Right? Aave. Okay. I cannot get bearish Aave at the 200-day moving average at the bottom of the equilibrium zone at 229. I just can't. Okay. I'm interested to see what Fantom is doing today. Okay. Fantom, now Sonic. Okay. Support underneath the market and holding pretty good. And I looked at Shadow on CoinGecko. I can't get it here yet. Whatever this is, somebody may have figured out the next thing in DeFi, especially if they're all moving off Pump.Fun. God, please get everybody off Pump.Fun. Pump.Fun cannot be what crypto I mean, it can be a component of crypto. You can have speculative assets, but please tell me that's not all it is. Okay. All right. Dietz is here. Bobby with the buy button, the green buy button, and the McAfee emojis. What could be better? DC Precise, right? WGMI. Is that Wagamy? The Elon Brothers coin. I don't think that's the right coin. Let me look at this again. All right, the Eagle King is going to have to find that for me. I don't think we can do that today. TCO Pro is here. Senior Crypto. All right, people. Final statement here. When the crypto market is horrible, that's when you have to remember why you're here. Okay, this is the complete opposite of where we were a year ago, and we are going shopping in the YouTube member area. Patreon already has some guidance. We're talking about the roadmap, right? Basically, we're talking about the world being completely different by the time Bitcoin 2025 rolls around in Vegas in May. We want to shop Web3. As people give up on meme coins, as people pack that in, particularly on the stuff that got dumped on retail, it's time to shop for Web3. Because I know we're going to be more than this, and I think AI and DeFi are going to be sectors that come back, right, quickest. In other words, the whole market might suck, but the market's going to tell you pretty quick, you know, like Hyperliquid or Sonic or, you know, Barachain, all these things, the new stuff may start coming back while the bigger cryptos go sideways and sort of like regain their composure, particularly with Bybit relentlessly selling this stuff, right? If Bybit has to continue to sell, mid-cap cryptos may rally when big cap coins sit still. I do not want to give up on crypto. I'm definitely not giving up on antivirus. And I would encourage you to stay strong. And if you have to like manage risk and not look at the tape in order to stay sane, do so. I'm your host, Bill Noble. On behalf of Toby and Eagle King, we will see you tomorrow.